What is going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and oh my god, the fifth monster is here. She is freaky, and she is fantastic. Welcome back to Evolve. Welcome to Gorgon. I had the privilege to fly out to Turtle Rock Studios and check out this beast for about 7 hours earlier this week. She comes to your console or your PC on November 3rd, but I'm bringing you some early action of her awesomeness. 4 abilities, starting off with Web Snare, where you shoot out a slowing web that does damage and traps your opponents. Spider Trap, which is one of her coolest moves, where you launch a baby spider out of your abdomen. It burrows under the ground, ready to attack and carry away hunters as they approach. Mimic, where you basically shed a husk of yourself that you can drive around like an RC car and detonate, or it detonates itself after a certain amount of time. And then Acid Spit, which possibly is my favorite mood, where you get to paint the ground with lovely acid that does damage over time. I feel like movement speed is the way to go with Gorgon, because she is a little bit slow on her default. Her traversal, as you'll see in a second here, is glorious. It's like Spider-Man, and it is oh so fun. We're setting up a nice lineup here of Slim, Bucket. Let's go... Who should we go, Trapper? I think let's go Griffin with his harpoon trap. That's a little bit tough for him. And then we've got Lennox, and Gorgon is ready to rock and roll. It's a new start screen there, which I really like. And we are diving in against a squad of hunters from all sorts of tiers. This is the 5th tier monster, and I can say hands down she is my favorite. If you have any questions or whatnot, ask them in the comments below, and I want to know what you think of Gorgon. Let me know in the comments below. I've got a lot of footage, a lot of different skins, some special skins that aren't even out yet, and a lot of really good rounds as we tour her grotesque body. The sound she makes when she sends out her pulse to hear is freaking amazing. All of her sound effects are like, they're spooky, but they're also just like very tantalizing, at least to my eardrums. I love them so much, and I think she's just fantastic. There's that snare trap, ensnaring some lovely mammoth birds and slapping them down. Her melee is actually pretty strong, and her health armor, while not the biggest, it's also not the smallest, so she fits in a very nice spot. And she's a monster that's all about comboing. And there is that traversal I talked about. You can fly through the skies Spider-Man style 3 times. You can change direction mid-flight. You can also attach onto walls, which you'll get to see later on in the video. And then you can pounce down or use attacks from above, which is super, super sinister. If you guys want to see more of Gorgon or any more Evolve at all, just let me know by smashing that like button. I also have footage of... I don't even know if you guys know about this, but I also have footage of Blitz Markov and of Rogue Val, who are 2 new like mutations of the original medic and original assault. There I am hiding on the wall. Just wanted to show you that. This is a great round because it kind of just encompasses all that Gorgon can do. I try to really showcase all of her moves, every little thing, her pounces, just every aspect of her to make sure that you guys got a great look. Like I said, she comes out on November 3rd. If you've got the season pass, you'll get Gorgon and you'll get the super hot Scarab skin. I'm not using it in this match. If you saw the stream, when I played her on the stream and won an epic round, I used the Scarab skin, and it's really awesome. It looks like the bug from Aladdin, or like a really brightly colored, vibrant beetle, and it's just super cool. I mean, her default look is amazing, so then adding that color just makes her freaking fantastic. She's a little bit slow normally. I do have the movement speed perk on her, so remember that, because normally her crawl and her walk are a little bit slow. Her traversal, though, keeps her really quick. So the 2 power-ups I mix up and use back and forth there, again, is me hanging on. And they added that webbing there so that hunters could notice, so it's not like she's just up above. The rules for that, I'll get back to the perks in a second, but the rules for that, like holding on to the rocks or whatnot, is it has to be a surface that you could normally climb. You can also attach onto the walls, like the perimeter walls, so even if you can't climb those, that is sort of the exception to that rule, but no ceilings as far as I've seen, and no like random things like no trees. Now, they do see me here, so I'm going to escape as quick as I can. Doesn't work so well because of the dome. Back to the perks. I also use the traversal recovery perk, the cooldown on the traversal, because of the fact that her traversal, as you'll see in a second here, is glorious for getting out of sticky situations. No pun intended, although I'm sure that her traversal does leave a lot of stick all around the planet sheer. But it's really great because not only can you move abruptly around the arena when you are domed, but you're also able to attach onto surfaces in places that maybe give you a little bit of an advantage in terms of, one, you can drop down Acid Spit from above and cover them in a little bit of panic, but also it allows just another way for you to hide. Normally if you're on the ground as Goliath or Behemoth, it's quite hard to avoid the opponents as soon as they regain line of sight. But here, if you're able to traverse behind a rock, behind a corner, you gain an extra second of sneakiness just by attaching on and hiding somewhere maybe above or around a corner or somewhere where they don't know. It's also great to attach like to the back of a surface, if that makes sense. So like not where they would see you if they first enter a cave or something, but where they have to like turn around, if that makes sense. They have to like 180 to see you. The dome is dropped, my armor's depleted, but I lost hardly any health, and of course that's something that we'll regain with evolution. We will get to stage 3 in this round, so you get to see her spider butt get really big, if you're into that sort of thing. I also like just spraying acid around the tunnels. This is on Aviary, of course, and it's a great map because not only you get to see Gorgon in her like most bright and beautiful capacity. The freaking traversal is so amazing. You see how high I got there? There should be some serious air challenges where you see like how high you can get with that, how far you can fly, and I love that you can change direction. All you gotta do is you tap A to traverse, and then you can use the right stick to change sort of your perspective where you're focusing, and then align your traversal for your next move. If you hold A, that is how, or X on PlayStation 4, that is how you will get the ability to stick onto stuff. So it's either a tap or a hold, and you do need to be within range. You can't just aim at something like, 500 meters away, hold A, and expect to get there. It has to be within range, and there are instances where you'll be like, I think I could like stick onto that, but you're not far, or you're not close enough, and then you will, even though you're holding A, just kind of like bump into it and drop. She looks like a mutating just psycho demon when she evolves. I love the way it all just drips off her. She's the spookiest monster by far, fitting for a Halloween week release. And we've got a pack of trap jaws. She's the most effective, I feel, at combating wildlife. Even the bigger stuff, because remember, she can hide above. And so say you come up against, a sloth or any of the larger, I'm completely forgetting what the name of the thing in the, blanking on the things in the river right now, or in the swamps, the creatures, but I'll remember them. Anyhow, any of those things, you can get above them and just drop acid, drop the snares, even drop spiders, although I don't know that spiders react to wildlife, so maybe not that one, but you could probably drop the mimic down and do serious damage while maintaining a perfect distance out of harm's way for your main Gorgon, the one that you care about with the meters. So she's really great for that, not to mention just epic at handling packs and mobs of wildlife. Because of the acid spit, you can cover the ground and deal damage over time as you're meleeing, along with the snare, which you can use to slow down and do damage over time. So like as you saw at the beginning of the round, it was great for those mammoth birds because you are able to shoot out at them, slow them down, which brings them closer to you, and then they're taking damage. You can come in for 1 or 2 slaps, and before you know it, you've got a freshly cooked meal. That is a guy who is going to help out quite a bit. Always a dangerous situation for the hunters when they do dome you with an elite wildlife or with a large wildlife in here. Why am I blanking on its name? Giant Crocodile of Doom. Sneak attacking here on Slim. Critical to get the medic down. Now, Gorgon isn't the greatest at focusing on one character. Specifically, she doesn't have like a devastating move. It's more crowd control and then overwhelming with stuff like acid and trying to catch them in bad situations. I feel like she's a character who will get down penalties and then go in for the kill because none of her moves do massive damage. Mimic is the most devastating attack if you do level it up to stage 3. But again, that requires you to be in a position of cover or something so that they're not able to notice you using it. It does maintain sort of that husky look as one of the hunters gets carried away by my babies, and so they will instantly know that it is the mimic, and you'll see when we get to stage 3 and activate that skill how that works. I'm doing pretty low on health here, but I'm trying to get one more down penalty on Griffin before I get out of here. I thought maybe I could get it. These turrets from Bucket are really, really damaging. And there I probably should have used Acid Spit. Unfortunately, I didn't have it. Otherwise, I would have. Because that Acid Spit almost instantly takes down any deployable weapons, which is really great for turrets. I think it can also take out mines, I'm pretty sure. Anyhow, see, there we are attaching again. And you can use the walls of the perimeter of the arena. And I'm going to try to bait this guy into dealing damage. He is an elite wildlife, so you'll see me damaging him from above. It does take some time. And they are here saying hello, so I probably will bail on this encounter, although it would be a great chance to get in there and deal damage. She takes down my armor again. Lennox, not the most lovely character to be duking it out one-on-one with just because of her melee advantage, and I am looking like it's going to end. The round is going to end, but I promise you, we reach stage 3. You don't have to worry about me. I will show you how her traversal allows you to evade and avoid even the most sticky and dangerous of situations. No pun intended yet again. I get to vomit up that vial of acid, which is kind of a really sick animation. All of hers are. The one where she births the baby spider is kind of really gross, and apparently it was grosser initially. And then the acid spit is really disgusting. We've got a sliver of armor. Holy cow. It's not even a fingernail's width, and I have barely any health. 1 or 2 more solid shots, and we are out for the count. So I got to make sure I bust a move and get my spider groove onto a different side of the map, because that was not going to end well. In fact, it almost ended entirely altogether. We make it out in time. We'll feast on a mammoth bird here who's been puked upon. And we're about 75% of the way to stage 3, where things will get real interesting with the Mimic. And you'll get to see a technique that I find really fun, especially on maps where you do have a lot of long, quite a big range of sight, line of sight is what I'm trying to get at here. What is the name of the creature in the freaking water? As I feast on more mammoth birds, I'm going to look this up because it's driving me crazy. Evolve wildlife names. Wildlife names. Here we go. You guys are just shouting at your screen right now. I'm so sorry. Tyrant! Oh, I knew it! Super easy. Super memorable, and I forgot. Gorgon is incredibly memorable. I think that Turtle Rock has really learned a lot since they made the first 3 monsters. You've seen with both Behemoth and now Gorgon, monsters that use the environment extensively to manipulate and sort of advance their offensive attack. And Behemoth uses it in the sense of employing those rock walls that he creates, which, you know, chop the map up into portions or capture a single hunter in a very dangerous and precarious situation. Gorgon uses the environment, one, for traversal quite extensively. You're flying through the map at a faster pace than anybody else. And then also being able to attach onto surfaces, I think, is super sweet and uses the environment in a totally different way. This is the Mimic. Now, the Mimic is... It's a little bit tricky because you can detonate at your command, although the timer is constantly running down. Now, the timer does not tick down damage output. It only ticks down how long the thing lives for. So whether you're at like 0.1 seconds remaining or the full bar of the Mimic, it still will deal the same amount of damage. But what you do have to be careful of is if you spawn Mimic, that Y button or the triangle for the trigger to detonate does not appear instantly. So it is possible for the hunters to take out Gorgon's Mimic before she's even able to detonate it, before you're able to even activate its explosive potential. So you are going to want to use it in kind of a little bit of a safe situation, although I find myself in real all-out battles using it more as like a melee attack where I spawn it and then it goes in and can right away deal kind of a burst of damage. It can use all of Gorgon's moves, so it can traverse. It can't use like abilities or whatnot, but it can traverse and it can climb. So it's basically like a mimic of Gorgon, as the move is called. We're in here trying to deal damage, and you'll see like where she struggles a bit because one-on-one we're not able to deal a whole ton of damage to everybody, and they are doing a pretty good job. We are playing against the computer, as you can tell, but this is favoring the AI. This was only my 3rd time, I think, playing Gorgon, maybe 4th. And so I didn't have her perfected, but I thought this was a fantastic round just to really show off and showcase her entire suite of moves and kind of all that she stands for. That acid spit really is crucial. And I was talking to Chris Ashton, who is one of the head designers on Evolve and one of the main guys who's making these monsters and playing them millions and millions of times. And he described Gorgon as really the mother of combos. And so you really want to stack a lot of her abilities in different ways in order to be effective in combat. So you really want to ensnare to slow them down and start damaging them over time. And then you want to spit acid on them as they're slowed to guarantee that you're dealing an extra burst of damage over time. And then maybe you come in with a mimic and blow them up while they're already dealing with 2 things that are slowly taking their health away from them and sending them off to the heavens hopefully soon. We haven't sent any to the heavens right now. Actually, we have. I think we've got 1 guy dead, but I have barely any health, so it's better for me to come back and try and recoup a little bit of my armor. You'll notice her armor meter is decently sized for more of a lithe and kind of fragile character here, so she's doing okay. Mimic, again, like you need a little bit more room for error than that. I did not have enough space. I feel like it either has to be used from a position of pure safety or more one of extreme closeness. But again, when it's really close, you do have to be careful that if they shoot it before you can even detonate, you're kind of screwed. It does detonate when they do kill it. but then they do have, sort of the advantage of they can detonate away from them, and the radius is not as big as you would think. There were times where I was like, man, it seems like it should be damaging them, but the radius isn't that big, so you really do want to have your detonate so you can spawn, maybe traverse really fast, and then detonate. I believe that no matter how many traversals you have, the Mimic starts off with 3, so that is pretty crucial as well. So you could use your 3 to close in, Mimic, and another, and still be okay. Now, you saw there that I'm using the tunnels to plant those spiders. You can only plant one of the spiders at a time, so if you plant another, you'll see that my right bumper ability is reusable right now, and I can reuse it, but it will remove the other spider. You have a single icon on screen showing you where your spider is, and as the hunters approach, that thing will birth itself from the ground below, come up, try to capture them, and carry them away. Now, that's on a timer as well. It will deal as much damage as it can until either the hunter dies and gets downed, or until the spider runs out of time and passes away itself, whichever comes first. And of course, the hunters can shoot the thing, which will just expedite the process and kill the spider a lot more quickly. But it is a really devastating move. You're battling Gorgon already, and then a hunter gets carried away, and you have to change your focus. Good Gorgon players, when we were playing against people in the office, I was there at the event with Vern Notice and Mad Cow and Nikki Stell Shampoo, and we had a tough time when Chris was playing Monster, and when I believe Corey, another guy on the team, was playing Monster, because they were so effective, and if someone got taken away, it really harmed our chances, especially if they grabbed like the medic, or especially if they grabbed assault or whatnot. We were just in a really precarious position. Trapper is dead. They're chowing into my armor real fast. Lennox with a great use of the shield, and it's hard for me because Slim is in there using not only his shotgun to revive his health burst, but he's also using that no smell zone bomb so that I'm not able to even seek out my opponents. I'm really low on health here, but you'll see how I'm able to extend the round with Gorgon's unique moveset, and I think this really showcases and kind of highlights a little bit of her playstyle. Now, this isn't going to be super effective, but it is a way to save yourself and buy yourself some time. So I plant a spider by me, because you are vulnerable when you do use the Mimic, but if I plant a spider by me, then I lace the path towards Gorgon with a little bit of defense, because now if a hunter comes near me and tries to attack while I'm vulnerable, the spider will hopefully, and most of the time, carry them away. I've got very little health, but I'll let my armor regen with the Mimic kind of playing as my protector. And now I don't think I'm going to kill these guys in any way. My goal is just to see if I can get another down penalty on them, because they already have a few. Maybe I can lessen sort of their morale a bit, and even with a spider shot, because you can launch those things pretty far. You have good aim. You can either fire it right at the ground or fire it far away. If I can carry a hunter away, I know I have hardly any health, but I am going to go after Slim and see if I can kill him. Doesn't work out so well, so I'll dip back into the tunnels here. I can launch a spider, kill that wildlife, grab a little bit more armor for myself, and we're going to kind of play this like bait game for a while here. And maybe it's not that effective right now because my health is at such a slight sliver, but you're seeing just different ways that Gorgon can be effective tactically, and her moveset is unique. It really feels like, even though Wraitho has a decoy, like Mimic is a totally different move with totally different usage, and it's impressive to me that 5 times, 5 different monsters, 5 totally different movesets, and 5 playstyles that feel entirely unique. What for me makes Gorgon the most fun is she's the most versatile, I feel, in her traversal and in her movement, and then her moveset seems to, while maybe not the most damaging, the most effective, it is, I feel, the most varied. Again, you're using a RC car spider basically to drive it and explode against the hunters. You've got an acid spray that is a projectile aimable attack that you can paint the ground or enemies with. You've got an ensnaring projectile that kind of reminds me of Vortex from Kraken, and then you also have this plantable sort of helper character, which is unlike anything we've seen. Where they go from here, I have no idea, but already I'm super excited for the 6th monster because I think their design chops have just improved. I think the game as a whole has gotten so much better over time. I wish that this was the package that Evolve launched with, because everything from the tier 4 and 5 hunters, the tier 4 and 5 monsters, the new maps, the new modes, the presentation, even the menu system, the way matchmaking works, the way you level up, the way everything goes has improved dramatically since the start. And imagine if this was the package that Evolve launched with, how crazy cool would it be? How good would it have been? You know, how much better would it have been received? And I think it'd be up in plenty of Game of the Year discussions, because, again, when you play Evolve, you realize that nonetheless, regardless of what is being said or has been said or how people feel or how many players are playing, it is one of the most unique and progressive games that we've seen here in Next Gen. I just really have nothing but love for the game, even to this date. I think it's so much fun. Spider carrying Lennox right to me, which is great, and then I will be able to pounce on her as soon as she bursts out of the Spider. No, Spider, don't go away. You can't control those guys. They kind of have a mind of their own. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get Lennox around the corner, but my Acid Spit does finish her off. If I was able to pounce her around the corner, it would have been even better. And now someone, it looks like Griffin with 2 downs is going to come after me, and it would be a great place for me to come in and grab another kill. I could get him if I can. My armor's down, but if I could just take him down the Acid Spit, or if I can get my Mimic back, I'm trying to back up here. I've got 2 minutes until the match is over, but as long as I stay decently engaged, we should be okay. I'm going to fire a Spider down there and see if I can come out the other side, or at least mimic them with some distance for protection. But I think that now with the variety and the diversity that the monsters hold, and how many of them there are, and how many combinations, you know, with 22 hunters, 5 monsters, you're pretty much guaranteed a unique battle every time you play. And seeing a duplicate or a replica battle is something that I feel like you won't find for hours, which is really great. And there's just something so joyful about cruising around a crazy map as a boss-type character with so many abilities. You're so big at level 3. Look how giant this freaking spider is, flying through the air. It's really, you wouldn't think that a spider of this sort, you think she'd kind of be like a fast character that maybe like hops around the ground or sort of like skids along the surface, but instead they give her like basically a fly ability, almost like Kraken. Granted, she can't maintain height, but in a way she can, because she can stick onto surfaces, which gives her that elevation and verticality that you only see from Kraken, and occasionally Wraith, depending on where you aim your traversal moves. But I like the fact that they now have 2 female monsters and 2 male monsters, which I think is pretty cool. She's definitely a she, as you saw by the trailer, which was all Grindhouse themed, which is pretty clever and cool for Halloween. And I think, again, like if you like Evolve, or if you didn't like Evolve, I think now is the best time to play the game. There is so much stuff in there, and so much variety, and Behemoth and Gorgon are so fun to play, and I don't know how they end up faring tournament-wise. That's not really sort of my scene. I'm not going in and looking to test these things for specific numbers. There's other guys that can do that. I was so impressed and amazed by the knowledge of both Mad Cow and Cell Shampoo, and how much they knew. We played rounds with them, and they're like, go here, the monster's over here, and they're saying names and terms about Evolve that I've never even heard of, and I've played this game quite a bit. As you know, I made a bunch of videos, but I'm no pro, and so I was like, all right, I'll just follow you guys, because you seem to know every little detail, which is really impressive. That sort of knowledge and memory to me is really cool. And Mad Cow was testing like every little thing, all the damage numbers, all the potential encounters with Gorgon and different characters, and it was pretty impressive to be witness to that. It was also pretty crazy because 3 people were live streaming at the same time that I was trying to focus and play and capture, hence why I didn't do any commentary there, and I'm recording it now. But it's for the best, because I kind of had a chance to take that 7 hours of experience, digest the monsters, see what I liked, see what I didn't like. The only thing I don't like I said, is she doesn't really have an attack. When there is a group, it's like, what do you do? Sure, you can Acid Spit, but that's not dealing like a lot of like direct damage. It's damage over time, which is of course helpful, but it's not enough to really dominate a situation. Even at level 3, you really still need to use your plantable spiders and your Mimic to help swing things in your favor, even at stage 3. So it's a difficult monster. I feel like she's tricky to play, but I also feel like she's incredibly rewarding and fun. I still contest that Behemoth and Gorgon are the most fun monsters to play. They are the most technical, I feel, because of what they require. Behemoth being so large requires so much just planning and prowess to make sure that you're not leaving yourself open for a super awful and ugly attack. He can get stuck in a situation that just chows down on his health real quick. And I feel like Gorgon is the same way because of the fact that she doesn't have a real powerful oomph of an attack. The hunters do get me there. I promise I'll be back for a victory soon in the next video. But I want to showcase everything she has going for her, and I thought this was the best example. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm so glad and so thankful to Turtle Rock that I got to come out, play the monster, and it's all thanks to you guys. You guys have supported this series from the very beginning, made it the best and biggest on YouTube, and now I get to check out all the stuff before it comes out and bring it to you, which is the best part. So Gorgon is available November 3rd. Excited to play more of it from the confines of my own office and home, but I do have more footage. Let me know if you want to see more Gorgon. I've got skins, I've got all sorts of other spider sexiness. We'll bring that your way soon. Until next time, guys and girls, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy the video, and we will see you all later.